All right, everybody. Pastor Allen here, stoking you up for 7 minutes with just a little video on small groups and rewind and what's going on right now. Okay, let me do just a little something for group life. Right now, it's wintertime, it's darker outside, it's a slower start, and I want to encourage you to just keep being faithful in trying to get people into your group. It's crucial that you keep a list. Now, how do you keep that list? Whether it's in a Facebook group or a GroupMe, the GroupMe app, or some kind of other way, it's crucial that you as a leader keep a list. If you don't keep a list, I'm going to tell you that there'll be somebody that'll fall through the cracks. Texting and phone calls and little touches like that make all the difference in the world, but you can't make them if you don't have some kind of list to help you remind who's in the group. But don't get discouraged if your group is low right now. We're going to plan out another launch in about 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to launch again and challenge people to sign up, especially daylight savings. I'm going to work out some things, but when it gets light again, it's always slow right now. It's big in October in the fall, and it's slower in the winter. Near the end of the spring, groups start to pick up. And there'll be more guidance there. So don't be discouraged, but keep reaching out to people. It's crucial. Invite new people to your groups. We probably didn't do a huge sign up for some, it's always there. And we didn't do a paper sign up this time because it hasn't worked primarily. It maybe has in some ways, but I tried to push everybody to digital sign-ups. And it worked some and it didn't others. So part of this is we want people to sign up for groups, but the other part is you got to keep up with the existing people in your groups. You got to do it. It's the way that we shepherd and disciple, and knowing where people are. That's a part of making disciples. Now, as we think about Sunday's message that Jonathan Geraci gave us, Exodus chapter 2, it's off grid from the Gospel of Luke that we're going through. We'll be back through that. By the way, I'm gonna get the questions out before Friday or Saturday for sure, so that the Sunday group will have the questions. And I've already got the text done, so I just need to get it on my calendar to make it happen. But it's gonna happen. Okay, here's the rewind questions for this week. It says Exodus 2. You could just read the whole chapter, have somebody read it, or share around the group. Say, hey, will you read this? You read that? Or one of the best readers in the group, just read it. And then state the big idea. Now, I just put the C.S. Lewis quote in there. Integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Jonathan Geraci hammered that quote. And so that was kind of the big idea that I found of his message. 6 questions. What stuck out to you most from the Sunday message? And then I give you 3 things underneath it. A verse from a text, an explanation of a verse, or an application of a verse. The way that you guide Bible study will model for people how they study their Bible personally. If I were you, I'd be taking notes. I would have at least one question or statement on my own that I know for sure that I listen to, and I go, this is what stuck out to me the most. If you and I as leaders don't have that, well, I would highly recommend you have that. Okay, so what stuck out to you the most? I give you 3 sub-points to explore that. Number 2, what does Exodus 2 tell us about God? What's God doing in the text? What's the big plan? What is he doing? He's orchestrating. Key in on the idea of God orchestrating Moses' life, and also come back to what do you think he's orchestrated in the past and orchestrating maybe in the present and future in your own life. What big plan is unfolding? God is orchestrating a leader to reveal to him in the burning bush that in chapter 3 of Exodus, you might want to read that as a cross-reference and say, you can't run from God. Okay, so do you think God works the same way today? That he orchestrates, that he raises us up for specific times for redemptive purposes to get people out of their own Egypt. Question number 3, what does Exodus 2 tell us about parenting? About Moses' mother. She loved him enough to save the baby's life. You could bring up the idea of abortion there and life. What does it say about his adoptive mother, the Egyptian girls? You could explore that in the text. And then what's it say about parenting, our parenting? Helicopter parenting, or there comes a time when you got to let your kids go and let God have them at a certain point, of course, later on. And tell me, trust me, it's a bummer when they go to college. Okay, moving on. What does Exodus 2 tell us about Pharaoh? Pharaoh's still evil. He's still working against. He's pursuing. It says in the text of Exodus 2 that he actually pursued them. That's where Jonathan Geraci gave the idea of car chases. That was probably one of my favorite fun facts too. Question number 5. What does Exodus 2 tell us about running from our past? So I hit this. Exodus 3 right here. Have you ever run from your past? You could ask that and go around the circle and go pretty fast. It'll keep the group moving. It'll provide momentum. What happened when you ran? Have somebody tell that. And then, how did God end that part of your story? And then you could end the lesson with, how can we pray for you in light of this passage and your life? Well, that's it. Those are the questions. You'll have more. I highly recommend that you have a Bible and notes sitting in front of you. I highly recommend that you be praying during the discussion when someone else is talking and saying, Lord, what question do you want asked in this group that's not on this paper? And let that happen. Again, thank you guys for shepherding God's people. Every touch you make, every time you touch somebody's life with a text or a follow-up, it makes a difference for the kingdom. Share the gospel in your group. I'm praying for you. Love you guys. God bless.